almost 9:30 on Tuesday night. I can't believe it's already the end of July, that August is like just around the corner. And I have a little bit of time before my class tonight, and so I just wanted to hop on and sort of talk with you about like a series of videos that I want to put together for you guys that will sort of just come out like as things come up, but just to sort of like answer or talk about like those weird situations that aren't like things that really aren't addressed when you first ask about PalFish, or maybe in the training sections, or just like are not common things that happen that you may or may not hear about, and then might be in a situation where it impacts you. And so maybe by putting these videos out there, it can help you avoid certain situations. So I guess I'm just gonna sort of take different things that have happened either with me or the teachers that have been referred by me or used my referral code, and then if you have anything specific that you're wondering about or has happened to you, or just a question that you have, feel free to comment below or shoot me an email at workathomechaos@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to address it in one of my videos. So today I want to talk about a teacher that I recently used my referral code, and who I recently helped through the hiring process with PalFish, ended up getting fined for being for not teaching a full class, so for not being in class for the full 25 minutes. So if you've watched my videos, or if you've looked at some of the information out there on PalFish, you probably know that the classes are 25 minutes long. You must teach for 25 minutes. Now, when you are, from what I've seen and for the different companies that I have worked for, you always have a timer somewhere in your classroom that shows how long you've been in class from that start time, from the scheduled start time in class. So with PalFish, before you get to the scheduled start time, it's going to say class will start in 1 minute and 32 seconds. It's going to count down. At the start of class, you're going to get 0, and then it's going to start to go up. Before you leave that PalFish classroom, you want to make sure that you have 25 minutes at the very least on that timer. Now, it can be a little confusing, especially if you get to class early and you teach and you maybe watch your clock or your phone, a separate device, and you're not paying attention to that timer. Or maybe you just are under the impression that you have to teach for 25 minutes, however you get to that 25 minutes. So if you get to class early and you begin teaching early, you need to continue to teach over 25 minutes. So if you end up teaching early, you're going to teach for longer than 25 minutes, because you need to hit the 25-minute mark. Now, I also want you to keep in mind that sometimes your device will not match the PalFish clock. I would say always wait until the last one gets to 25 minutes. So for me, my iPad hits 25 minutes first, then about 10 seconds later, my PalFish app hits 25 minutes, my timer in the classroom. If it were that my PalFish clock hit first, I would still wait until the other one, just to make sure that you're definitely at that 25 minutes. Once you get there, both clocks say 25, you can, finish up. I usually get to that last slide, like that goodbye slide, at around like 24. It gives you a minute to say goodbye. I use reward stickers for my students. They pick their sticker, and then we're good to go. So again, it's okay to teach to start early if you and the student are there and you want to, but it's important that you know that if you do start early, that you are still teaching to that 25 minutes. Now, one thing that I wish someone would put out there, like for teachers initially, there's some features that you don't really know what they are until you hear about them or you play around with them. And one of those is the default camera mode within PalFish. So for some of us, well, I think most of us, we like to go into the classroom a little bit early if you have time, so that you can preview those slides if you haven't done so already. Now, if your student is in the classroom, it's a little bit awkward to go through those slides to practice when they can see you and they can hear you. Now, I did recently see in a Facebook group that someone had mentioned that they wait until the timer hits 0 to start teaching. So like even if their student can see them, they just wait. They don't say anything. I cannot do that. If I were a parent, I think that I would probably think it was a little bit rude, but you know, that's just me. But so if you are someone who goes into the classroom early and you want to have the opportunity to look at your slides, because you can look at them just by clicking the photo icon, they all come up, you can sort of like browse through them. Or even if you just want to sit there and like be able to sip on your coffee without getting started, you absolutely can do that without having your students stare at you until the time is up. So when you go into the PalFish app and you go to the Me section of the app, so when you go in, let's see if I can, when you go in and you go to the Me section, which is in the bottom right, oh, this light is terrible, sorry guys. So anyway, you go into the bottom right and you click Me, and you're going to get a little settings toggle. There we go. Not sure what's going on here. And when you click on that settings toggle, you're going to have a bunch of different things here that you can work with. And one of them says default camera mode of official course. It's automatically going to be set to on. It's going to be green, which means that your camera and audio are always on. If you unclick that, your camera and audio will always be off until 30 seconds before class begins. So you're next to your picture, or within your icon and your profile picture, it'll say camera and audio will begin in this many minutes and seconds. So if you get to class early, you don't have to worry about your students seeing you. You can have your drink, you can get your stuff ready, but just make you know that you're in there, which for some of us can just be reassuring. And it's nice to just know that you don't have to worry about being late. You can just be in, and then once that camera opens, I do start my intro then. I typically have only regular students, so when my camera opens up, I'll just say, "Hi, how are you today?" and sort of ask them about their day and things like that. And then at that 0, I'll go ahead and get started. The reason that I do wait to 0 to go to like that next slide, I don't actually go to the introduction slide until 0, and this is probably just me being, whatever. But from what I understand, the recording starts at 0, so I like to just have everything there to make sure it's like a full complete lesson. So like then I'll just sort of like go to that slide. We've already said hello and this and that, and then we'll just go to the next one. But I don't like go really through anything until we hit the 0 on the timer, so that everything is in that recording for them. And I don't know if PalFish would want that. So yeah, if you get to class early and you decide to start teaching because your student is there and your camera is open, that is absolutely okay. But make sure you go to that 25-minute mark. So if you start teaching 2 minutes, 3 minutes early, then you need to know that you are going to be teaching until, still that 25-minute mark, but add that 2 to 3 minutes on, so you'll be teaching for, 26, 27, 28 minutes, whatever it might be. Right, I hope that this was helpful. If you have anything specific you'd like to know about, questions, anything like that, feel free to comment below or shoot me an email, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.